everybody, and welcome back to the Hangout Spot where you already know it's Real Talk, Jets Talk today. Live from my man cave. It's your boy Johnny, and let's talk Jets, baby, because we finally got our first win of the season. It was tough. It was a dogfight. But the New York Jets beat the Tennessee Titans today 24-17. And trust me when I tell you, I was not happy in the first half of this game, especially the first quarter, man. I mean, I wanted to take my phone and toss it because I'm like, what is going on with this defense, man? Like, they can't stop a nosebleed on the ground, and this is supposed to be our strength. The strength of this team is supposed to be the defense. And it's like last week against the Niners, we got steamrolled. It started out bad against the Titans. They were just running the ball at will. It was absolutely crazy. But, again, we turned things around. And we finally showed some life on offense, which was a good thing to see. Again, I'm happy that we won. But the Jets have a lot of work to do, man. We are not a finished product by any means, man. But, you know, a win is a win. I'd rather work on some of the things that we need to work on after a victory. And, and I'm proud. I'm proud of the fight that they showed. They did face a lot of adversity, some injuries, some mistakes, penalties. We'll get into that in a second. But let's talk about the good, man. And I don't think anybody will disagree when I say that the good starts with the quarterback. Number 8, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we finally got ourselves a quarterback that's intelligent, a quarterback that's accurate. Aaron Rodgers didn't have his typical Aaron Rodgers MVP game of the past when he threw for like 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. Didn't have that type of game. Threw for 176 yards, but he threw for 2 touchdowns. He was 18 of 30. But again, it was those throws, man. It was the precision throws, the accurate throws, and it wasn't even the touchdown throws, right? Because the first touchdown was basically a pitch to Braylon Allen, who also had himself a tremendous game. We're going to get to that in a second. But, the touchdown pass, that he threw to Breece Hall was just absolutely incredible. And then you look at some of the other throws on a 2nd and 16, that throw down the sideline to Mike Williams, I mean, was phenomenal. And, we don't get that type of quarterback play last year, the year before, or probably for the last 10 years for that matter. So this is why I said last week that he's got to get the rust off, right? He's got to get his feet wet. He's got to get into, get some chemistry with these guys on offense. But once he does that, I mean, I think the sky's the limit for this offense. Now, the play calling, that's a little bit of a different story. I mean, Hackett had his moments, but, in the beginning part of the game, the first half of the game, you're like, what is he calling out there? You know what I mean? Like, just force-feeding Breece, like, mix it up. When they brought Braylon Allen in, I think that was a good change of pace, and it kind of changed the complexity of how the offense was going to move from that point in time, right? You got to show that diversity. That's what you have these young horses in the backfield for. Switch it up, mix it up. It can't always be Breece Hall. I understand he's a special talent, but Braylon Allen proved that he belongs in this league, and he's going to be a major problem. Touchdown catch off the pitch that I just talked about with Aaron Rodgers, and then a rushing touchdown where he just hit the hole and just took off. This dude runs like a man possessed. He looked like Derrick Henry out there, the Titans' former running back. And it was a good thing to see. I mean, he rushed for 33 yards on 7 attempts, but he had a touchdown. Breece Hall, out of the backfield, 7 catches, 52 yards and a touchdown. This is how you got to use this tandem. You know what I mean? Like, this is what you need to do, going forward. Because the Jets, on paper, they have the talent. I just don't think they have the right coaching to be able to put it together. And this game just frustrated me on multiple accounts, man. Robert Saleh and like I said, Nathaniel Hackett with the play calling. The penalties. I mean, again, here we are, 7 penalties. The lack of discipline. These guys, he's got to put his foot in their asses, man. That penalties and the lack of discipline has to stop. He has to start holding players accountable. But for the most part, like I said, we delivered when we needed to deliver. C.J. Mosley got hurt in this game. They said it was a foot injury. At first, he was listed as questionable. Then later on, after that, they listed him as doubtful. Hopefully, that was just more of a precaution because you got to remember we do have a game in 4 days, our home opener against the Patriots, who actually lost today. So they are 1-1, as we are as well. So hopefully he'll be able to come back and play. But the biggest blow of the day was Jermaine Johnson. We lost him today, and rumors are, or from word on the sideline is that it was an Achilles injury. It's just sad. Again, this was a kid who was, coming into his own. And now with a lack of pass rushes, he was supposed to be that guy that we were going to rely on, with Hassan Reddick, still not signed. And now we don't have him. So what happens now? On the flip side of it, Will McDonald, I give him a lot of props. He was basically a no-show for the majority of the game until the end. So he showed up when it really mattered with that sack in that last Titans possession, a sack that we desperately, desperately needed. But what happens now to the line? Because I said during the game, to one of my friends on a chat group, that if you're Hassan Reddick agent, you're sitting back, sipping tea with your pinky out right now, waiting for the Jets to call. You got to think that the Jets got to call. They got to make something happen. Jermaine Johnson more than likely is out for the season. So what are you going to do? This is already a thin, this is already a line that is nowhere near depth-wise the line that we were last year when we had John Franklin Myers, when we had Bryce Huff. If you were going to sit back and say to yourself, Joe Douglas, that we're good enough with just Will McDonald in his second year, you are crazy. This defense rocks when we put pressure on the opposing quarterback, and that's something that we have not been doing consistently at all the first 2 weeks of the season. Call Reddick's agent, get something done. Get this guy in the building, get him on the football field, man. This team has talent. We don't want the season to be lost because you didn't have a plan in place to pay a guy who obviously wanted to get paid with his former team, the Eagles, which is why they moved him, because they didn't want to pay him. So again, you make a trade for a guy like that, you better have a plan in place to pay him, or else you move on and you don't trade for him. So Douglas, you got to do something, especially now. Like I said, there's a depth issue there at the line. But either way, like I said, we still won the game, and I was satisfied with how we finished that game, mostly in the second half. There were glimpses there on offense, like I said, with Aaron Rodgers, that this offense can be, a really, really good offense. But, it's going to take time. The fact is it's going to take time. But I'm happy with having Aaron Rodgers in the game. We got to get, Garrett Wilson more involved, which means getting Mike Williams more involved. Before that pass to Mike Williams that he caught on that 2nd and 16, I was screaming, like, why? Where is Mike Williams? Why did we trade for him if we're not going to utilize him? That play where Aaron Rodgers on a third and 2 threw it down the middle of the field, a deep route on a 3rd and 2 to Allen Lazard, incompletion, that's the type of play call that you need to put in place for Mike Williams. That is his strength, getting down the field, winning those type of battles. If you got the guy, utilize his talents and play to his strengths. And this is why the coordinator is, I have an issue with the coordinator. So hopefully they get Mike Williams more involved, because as you get Mike Williams more involved and he becomes more of a threat, then you're going to lessen the chances of Garrett Wilson getting double teamed on the opposite end. You need to get him more involved, especially when you're in the red zone. But anyhow, we are 1-1 now. Big victory, much needed victory. It would have been a much different conversation and a much different outlook of the season right now if we were talking and the Jets were 0-2. So it's good that they're going into their third week, their home opener, 1-1 instead of 0-2. And in my opinion, definitely a winnable game next week against the Patriots. Thursday night against the Patriots. I will not actually be watching it here at the Hangout Spot. I'll actually be out on a cruise ship. Me and the wife are going on a much needed vacation. So we'll be watching that on the ocean, in a sports bar, on the cruise ship. I will have my Jets gear on. I will have my Osmo Pro ready to record a short or a recap video right after that. So make sure you tune into that. But anyhow, I'm looking forward to that game. Like I said, you know, it's a quick turnaround, 4 days, but we're going home. The home crowd is going to be bananas. You know, MetLife is going to be lit up all in green. They'll have those nice, fancy, nice-looking laser lights all over the place. Aaron Rodgers, first game back on his home field since the tragedy that happened last year, 4 plays in. So I think MetLife will be rocking. And I fully, 100%, as I said going into this game, that I fully expected the Jets should win this game against the Titans. That's a game that the Jets should win at home against an inferior opponent. I know the Patriots are the Patriots, but they are not by any means the Bill Belichick Patriots with Tom Brady. They're going to play hard. They're going to play tough. I'm not knocking them. But at the end of the day, we are the much more talented team going in to a home opener with momentum. We should be able to steamroll them. I fully expect for us to be able to do that. Anyhow, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about this game and what you think about Thursday night's game. And if you are new to watching my videos, like I always say, I don't know what you're waiting for. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and pound on that like button and come along for the ride, baby. It's gonna be a good season. It's gonna be a good season, and we're gonna be here to do previews, recaps. And let's not forget my boxing. That's my bread and butter. Interviews lined up, live fight coverage. So at the end of the day, you don't want to miss it. But as always, to all my followers, my Jet fan people, my boxing followers, I appreciate the love and support. This is your boy Johnny signing out from the Hangout Spot, and I'll talk to everybody soon.